Dooley Noted, 11/2/2014. Hi, I'm Dr. Kathy Dooley. I had a request from some of my colleagues to show a pelvic floor release or tightening drill that was in quadruped. I actually used the same drill for both pelvic floor release and pelvic floor tightening, but give different cues. The pelvic floor is kind of tricky. When you inhale, the diaphragm drops. The abdomen here on the anterolateral and posterior sides actually distend and load eccentrically. And the pelvic floor is tricky because it has two different parts. The sphincters actually have to close off as you inhale so you don't leak out things as you're building intra-abdominal pressure. And the outside of the pelvic floor, the more lateral parts, have to sustain and build and actually eccentrically load this way in order to be able to prevent the organs from prolapsing during the building of intra-abdominal pressure on an inhale. So you have to be kind of tricky with your actual cueing. So if someone has a tendency to hold their urine all day, has a history of episiotomy scarring, has a tendency towards holding of the bowels, these are people that tend towards pelvic floor facilitation. You would give them a different type of cue. So first you put them in quadruped. You're going to push yourself away from your hands, keeping your elbows relatively locked. You're going to keep your neck nice and long, chin tucked. Your spine is going to be as neutral as possible. None of this business and none of that business. Try to keep the spine as neutral as you can and pull the ribs down. You're going to take a nice sharp inhale through the nose and then sit back as you exhale. The key to timing this is that on the inhale there'll be a natural pelvic floor facilitation. So as you inhale here, you'll sit back and then you'll pretend like you're releasing your urine or releasing your, for lack of a better term, fart, if it's a posterior type of quadrant facilitation. So you want to release the bowels or release the urine. So I just tell them hold your pee or hold your poo and then release it as you sit backwards. For my people that find that one quadrant is facilitated or tightened and another one isn't, then you can rock towards the opposite side. Like rocking to the left for the right, that'll put the right side on stretch, or rocking to the right for the left quadrant. All with the cue of releasing the urine or releasing the bowels as you sit backwards. If someone has facilitation, they absolutely will not accidentally release their urine or bowels, so don't worry about that, but tell them, you know, be cautious and try to gauge what you release. For someone who has pelvic floor inhibition or has a tendency towards urinating when they jump or have a hard time keeping their urine in when they sneeze, same thing for defecation or for flatulence, you can tell them to hold their pee or hold their poop as they descend. So you're going to have a deep breath in, and then as you descend, hold your pee and hold your poop. And again, if you have a quadrant relationship, go to the side towards the quadrant you want to facilitate. So if the right side, you're finding the right side doesn't work as well, then you want to actually dip to the ipsilateral side to tighten it. So just to recap, if you're going to release something as you sit back, if it's a bilateral facilitation pattern, just make sure you release the pee or release the poo or release both. And if it's a one-sided type of facilitation, go to the side opposite to do extra stretch. If you're trying to facilitate, if you're trying to bind things up and you want to help with the holding patterns, go to the same side and have them hold the pee or hold the poop. Don't ask them to just do a Kegel. A lot of people don't know what that means, especially guys. So be very specific with your cueing, and I hope this helps. My friend Bonnie Monson, she is a fantastic pelvic floor physical therapist that's located in Utah, and she's in KT level 2. She's fantastic. And she told me that you can also give the cue to tighten the glutes and hum. So as someone's coming back, if you're trying to get them to release the pelvic floor, you can have them sit back in their rock, and as they're coming back forward, have them as they squeeze the glutes, which I thought was a really, really nice release also. So you can add that in. Hopefully this was helpful. Hopefully you can use this with your clients or with yourselves, and I'll see you next time.